My name is Leo Connors, and welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. Tonight, I got a very special guest, as I do every week, pro wrestler Joey Warner. Joey.
Leo,
Thank you, man.
Thank you for having me.
No, my pleasure, my pleasure. We got a lot to talk about, so let's just jump right into it. Where'd you grow up?
Salem, Massachusetts.
Okay. When did you first see pro wrestling?
Geez, that had to be somewhere around 99. I believe I watched the TLC match with Edge, Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys.
Yeah.
And I was hooked.
How old were you?
99, I must have been 10.
Yeah.
9, 10 years old.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Who were some of your favorites when you first started watching wrestling?
Well, Jeff Hardy was my number one. I really liked the high-flying style.
Everybody loves Jeff Hardy.
Everybody that
It's
knows
true.
me knows that I grew up loving
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy.
Oh, that's cool. Nice. What about Matt? You like Matt? A little bit at least?
A little bit at least, yeah. He was more the heavy hitter of the,
Yeah, he
of the
was.
bunch, but...
I always feel bad for him because what Edge and Lita did to the poor guy,
Yeah.
that was horrible. It was.
But they made a storyline out of it. And
They did.
and
They
now they're
did.
good friends.
And Matt got the short end of the stick, though.
He sure did.
You know? So, but all right. So were your family or friends into it also?
Yes, I grew up with a tight-knit bunch of guys in the neighborhood I grew up in, and we would all play wrestling games together. It was always a big thing. Like, we'd all get together in somebody's house, and we'd all pick up a controller, and we'd just go at it,
Right.
SmackDown games, and it was good. times.
Awesome. All right. When did you go to your first show?
That wasn't until, believe it or not, 2007. My first live show. I was like third row, and it was just an episode of Raw, but it was a good time.
That's awesome.
And in my opinion, you really get the best experience when you're up close. When you're up, when you're up in the rafters, you don't really get the feel.
Right. 100%.
That's how it is.
What about your first indie show? Don't tell me you worked on it before you went to your first indie show.
Yep. Actually,
You're like the fourth person that said that here.
yeah, yep. I wrestled before I ever went to an indie show.
Yeah, that's wild, man. So, and now, well, we'll get there in a second. Okay. When did you know that wrestling was something that you wanted to do?
When I met Todd.
Yeah?
Yep, Todd took me under his wing, and he always saw something in me, and
Right.
he always tried to elevate me the best that he could. I mean, the first few years of knowing him, it was like a spattering
Yeah.
of trainings and stuff, but he always tried for me.
Nice.
And yeah, that's how I felt like I wanted to do this, because
Right.
I knew somebody that wanted to take me under his wing and teach me, and that's
Yeah.
the direction I ended up going.
Excellent. Just so everybody knows, that's Todd Graham.
Todd Graham.
Great friend of the show. He's
Yep.
been on it like 9 times. All right. Who trained you?
Todd Graham.
Yeah.
And Atlee Green.
Nice.
So I got two of those guys in my corner. Atlee Green, great guy.
Oh, he's awesome.
Great guy.
Awesome. It's so funny. I had met Atlee in probably like 2002, 2003, and then didn't see him until Todd brought him back here like 5 years ago. Really good guy, though.
Really great.
Really good guy. All right. How about tell us about your first match at your first indie show that you went to and worked?
My first match would be Elkmania 1,
Yeah.
which would be at the Beverly Elks building, which I'm sure you're
Yeah.
familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
So Elkmania 1, and my opponent was Tommy Corbin.
Okay.
First match on the card in that building. I mean, first match in that building, and
Right.
that's something that I carry.
And now that was
with
Todd's
pride.
first show that he put on, right? Oh, did he
That was
already do
actually-
Alchemania too?
That was Ryan Andrews' show.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that started off as a Ryan Andrews and Atlee Green
Another
show.
good guy.
Yes. So that started off as their baby.
Right.
And ended up being given a proving ground as a show, as a
Nice.
staple.
Nice. So who did you wrestle that night?
Tommy Corbin.
Tom Corbin. Okay,
Tommy
you
Corbin.
did say that. I'm
Yep,
sorry.
that's all right.
Did you win?
I believe I lost that one.
All right. You can't win them all.
Nope. Win some, lose some.
That's it. All right. So we got a bunch of fan questions.
All right,
We're
hit
going to
me.
jump right into them. Heather McLean. Is Lazarus going to finish what he started with Osiris without him taking off, running down the street? Osiris ran from you?
Osiris ran from Lazarus,
Oh,
as any mortal man should.
Yeah. Who's Lazarus?
Lazarus is my heavy.
Okay.
Have you not?
No,
Not up to
I'm
date
not
with
up to date.
So Lazarus is my heavy, and I found him wandering in the void, and decided to bring him back with me,
No. Nice.
and he's been wonderful.
Nice.
Absolutely wonderful.
That's great. And I'm sure, so you know Heather McLean, right?
Yes.
Heather, thank you for asking the question. Much
you, Heather.
appreciated. Guy we just talked about, Ryan Andrews. Dearest Joey, I'm sorry you weren't my favorite member of the hype. I have since seen the error of my ways. I love you. Also, when you started out, you used the nickname Lightspeed. What made you use that name as the overly chipper babyface gimmick that the name seems like it would be associated with? Seems like such a departure from your actual persona. Did you get all that?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Lightspeed actually came from a spur of the moment question from Jerry Charlton. I don't know if you know who Jerry Charlton is.
No.
He ran Mass Anarchy Wrestling down in Rhode Island.
Okay.
So he had me on his show a couple times, and he was taking promo pictures, and he's like, "What's your nickname?" And I'm like, "I don't have one."
Right.
He's like, "Well, can you think of one?" And so I said, "How about Lightspeed?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay." And that's just how that came to be. And I knew that it was only a temporary thing.
Right.
I never thought it would stick,
Yeah.
and it hasn't. So it's one of those things that just kind of went away.
All right. Thanks for the question, Ryan. Nice to hear from you.
Love you too.
Yes. Gerard Fredette. Getting some star power on the show. Nice. Sounds like he's a good big fan of yours.
Oh yeah, good kid.
Excellent.
And I've wrestled them a few times as well. In,
Oh, nice.
In WAW, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Yep, we're going to talk about them. Steven Russo. Does your daughter still think I'm AJ Styles? Now, I don't know if you see the, but I'm pretty sure Brickhouse Baker said something about him being short.
Yes, he did. I can't answer that question because she hasn't seen you in a couple of years. So
But she did think he was AJ Styles?
She did think he was AJ Styles. He had the
Steve's a
beard,
good
he had the
dude,
hair.
real
Oh,
good
yeah,
guy.
good dude.
We got to get you in there for round 3, Steven. All right, Richard Knight, who I think I call Reggie, Cup winner.
Right, yes.
Yeah,
That's right, you did.
So Reggie's back now. Richard Knight, why do you think Osiris keeps attacking you and the other members of the Void?
You know, that's never been made clear to me what the
Right.
motive is, what the reasoning is. We never got that from Osiris, but from what I can gather, and this is strictly speculation,
Right.
it probably has something to do with the fact that he has followers that are more obedient, and I have followers that I'm teaching individuality to.
Yep.
So I feel like he might not like that, and that's why he keeps trying to ruffle my feathers.
Yeah.
But that's, again, speculation. I can't.
All right. Osiris was here a few weeks ago. I had to cancel on him 1 week, and then the next week I was going to have to cancel on him again. But I had my friend Dave Fournier do the show for me and said so I didn't cancel on him twice in a row. But now I'm thinking maybe I should have canceled on him twice in a row.
Oh, well, maybe not. I'd like some answers.
All right. Yeah. We'll get him back in here. All right. So Richard also wants to know, is it because he's threatened by it? Like you said, you don't know, but possibly.
He possibly could be threatened by the Void, and he's trying to eradicate us before we become much bigger.
Right. And it says, and if so, what is it about the Void that threatens Osiris so much? Obviously that you guys are better than him.
Obviously.
Because that's why he feels threatened. Osiris. I've known him a long time too. Very long time. All right. Gabriel Joseph Hofaker? Okay. Yeah, we'll try that again. Gabriel Joseph Hofaker. When you began your wrestling career, what was the most difficult move to perfect? I want to ask you something after you answer
Okay.
this.
That's a tough one because honestly, a lot of things that I do come naturally, and if I can't do it in
Yeah.
practice, I won't do it just in case I hurt somebody. So I just
Right.
I
That's
just
smart.
scrap it.
That's smart. I was going to say, must be tuck your chin.
Well,
To fall,
Right.
to take a bump. I would think that would be hard for me to always remember.
maybe the moonsault would have
Yeah.
been something that I practiced a lot.
Okay.
But I didn't do it to anybody until I had the full rotation down. Shooting star press is another one.
Yeah. Yeah, those are definitely dangerous moves. Until you perfect them, you really don't want to use them. I hear you.
Right. So that's my answer.
Okay. Gabriel's got a couple more. What was your original entrance music?
Are we talking technicality? Or are we talking?
I think he wants to know what was your original, maybe the music you used the first few times. I don't know how long you kept music, you know?
The very first time that I stepped out of a curtain, I was listening to Spit It. I had Spit It Out by Slipknot on.
Nice.
So that was my first theme song. And then when I stepped down into the stage at Elkmania 1, I had Brave This Storm by Trivium.
Oh, nice. All right.
Those are my songs.
Excellent. And he's got two more questions. What was your most significant wrestling victory? No one's ever asked that question.
That would be Elkmania 3 against Adam Nessel
Nice.
for the All-Star Championship.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. So I would imagine you won that match.
Yes, I
Because,
did.
I mean, it would be your most, victory. All right. If you could have a rematch with anyone from the past,
Adam Nessel.
would it, yeah?
It would be Adam Nessel.
Nice,
Let's get
nice.
this done, Adam.
Look at that, Adam. All right. All right. I'm going to call him by his wrestling name, the Mighty Bosch. When's round 3 between him and me?
I guess we'll have to see where we end up if we're on the same show, because that's what happened
For 2?
last month.
Yeah.
Is we were in the same building, and they said, you two together. But anytime, any place.
Excellent. Mighty Bosch, good guy, good wrestler. All right.
Solid dude.
Yeah, solid good. You're right. All right. So, I was going to ask you this, but I think I already know the answer. Who was the first promoter to book you regularly? Todd.
Todd Graham.
Were there any veterans that helped you out when you first started? Like, maybe even by you not even asking them to watch a match or anything. Did anyone?
I guess you would consider him a veteran today. I consider him a legend in the area is Stephen Lust.
Oh, excellent. Yes. Yeah. Great
I
guy.
think
Good
Stephen
wrestler.
Lust is somebody that I consider to be a legend in these parts. And he may not think that, but I do.
He's actually been killing it for the past year and a half. I mean, like
100%.
right, maybe even up to 2 years. He's
100%.
really been killing it, doing a hell of a job. All right. On the flip side, did anyone try and make it difficult for you?
Yeah, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep. There are two people that I started with back in 2004, and I'm only going to talk about them briefly because they don't deserve a lot of time.
Right. No, I hear you.
But they're just those kind of people that remind you of all your failures.
Yeah.
And try to remind you of where you came from and who you used to be,
Right.
and don't see you for who you are today.
Right.
But yeah, those people tried to keep me down, and even to this day, they still do 20 years later.
And they're still in the business?
No,
Okay.
no longer in the business for
All right.
probably a bunch of reasons.
Yeah, we don't even need to talk about them at all. All right. So we talked off air about this guy, and he's coming on in July. Frank Bones.
Love Frank Bones.
Talk about him.
Dynamite guy. I mean, when I first started getting back into it, he was there.
Yeah.
Him and WAW were there, and without Frank Bones, there would be no who I am today.
Right.
He really pushed my limits and pushed me to my potential. And Frankie, I can't thank you enough for that, buddy.
A lot of people talk very highly of Frank Bones to me. They really
you
do.
can't talk poorly about, and he.
That's awesome.
And he recently got hurt, and I really hope that he recovers quickly and is back in no time.
Nice. Yeah. Really, I hope too, Frankie. And I'll see you next month for sure. All right. Well, we brought him up a little. How about WAW? They're still running strong in Manchester, correct?
Well, they bounce around. I'm not sure where they're going out of now.
Okay.
But, yeah, they just had a big charity show back in on the 18th of May, and I wrestled in that one
Nice.
in Newton. And
Who'd you wrestle?
I wrestled Draven Filth.
Okay. Yep. Excellent. Now, who's Dan?
Dan Elwell.
Yes. Now, he asked a lot. He didn't ask any question on this episode, but he's asked questions in the past. And I'd like to get him on the show. So if you would talk to him, have him hit me up.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously.
Great guy.
You know?
Yeah, he would probably love to come up
Yeah,
here.
I'd love to have him on. You know,
Yep.
the only qualification to be on this show is you gotta love wrestling. That's it, man.
That's solid.
Awesome. Okay. You brought up to me earlier also off air. Derek Conway did a promo on you.
Yes, he did.
Want to talk about that?
So I'm going to talk about my departure from wrestling
Yes.
in 2016. It was very abrupt, and Proving Ground had just kicked off, and I met the woman who became my wife, and she came with 2 kids.
Oh wow.
So I got married to her.
Yeah.
And I split. I said I'm gonna be stepdad and focus on
Right.
family, and so it was for all the right reasons.
Right.
I ruffled a lot of feathers when I left. Understandably so. I left some people upset.
Right.
So Conway cut a promo on me because we were in the middle of a tournament. There was a tournament going on in Proving Ground, a round robin style tournament, and I wasn't there.
Right.
And he cut a promo on me. Honestly, one of his best promos that I've ever seen, and
Yeah.
I believe Todd has said the same thing. Very passionate,
Right.
though. I don't have too much more to say about that, but I think me leaving really left some doors open for everybody else that was
Right.
there. Who knows what would have happened if I stuck around, but I'm glad that things went the way they went.
Right. So now, like, what year did you start wrestling? How long did you wrestle before you walked away?
So I'm only going to count my live show
Okay.
debut as my starting point. So
Right.
2013 would be my starting point. So 2016, so I was there for about 3 years.
Right. And then you stepped away.
And then I stepped away for 3.5, 4 years.
That long, huh?
Yeah, I figured. I was getting the itch. The baby, she was about 4 years old, and I said it's time for me to start doing this again. I'm getting the itch.
Right.
I can do it now. I have a
Yeah.
little bit more time on my hands, and I was also starting a new job when I left. So it was kind of like do I risk getting myself injured and then having to call out of work, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to risk that.
That's why I don't
luck.
play like softball and things like that, because I'm almost 60. I don't want to get hurt and then have to miss work.
Right.
You know what I mean? How old are the kids now?
I have a 13 and a 7.
Nice. I'm a proud
Great
dad.
kids. Great
So
kids.
that's awesome. It's commendable because it's not easy, helping raise other people's kids. It's not. It's like a thankless job in a way.
It's been with its challenges,
Right. But it's rewarding also.
it's super rewarding.
Oh, absolutely.
really rewarding, and we're raising some really good kids.
And it's a boy and a girl?
No, 2 girls.
Oh, 2 girls. Okay.
2 girls.
Nice.
And I can't be more grateful for
That's
for
awesome.
all 3 of the girls at home.
That really is awesome. I got to tell you, I commend you for that because it's not easy. It really isn't. All right. So I got a list. Instead of doing the name game, we're going to do the name game, but I wrote down guys I know you wrestled. I don't know if you wrestled them once or, 5 times or whatever. Okay. So why don't we just do that? I don't know if you wrestled this guy, but I know you know him. Freaking Flax.
I have wrestled Freaking Flax
Okay.
one time at a WAW show. Can't take my finisher.
Really?
Yeah.
He's my favorite wrestling goat.
Oh, he's phenomenal. I had to reach out to him after the last Proving Ground show and tell him how much I'm enjoying his matches because he's just so creative with everything
Right.
he does. It's awesome.
Yeah, I definitely want to get him on the show, and I'm happy because he actually wrote about coming on the show on one of the posts. So I'm gonna be hitting Flax up really, really soon.
Excellent.
How about Calvin Campbell?
Calvin Campbell, I wrestled once.
Yep.
And that was at, I believe, Nothing Left to Prove in 2021. Good
Okay.
dude. He also stepped away.
Yeah, and now he was managed at the time by Doc Ozone, correct?
Yes, he was.
What about Doc? What do you think about the Doc?
I love Doc. He was actually at
Gives
the
the
last
best hugs.
Yeah, he was actually at the last Proving Ground show, and he was just so happy to be
Yeah,
there.
that's cool.
Just a super down to earth, laid back dude.
Yeah, he is a great guy.
Nothing but great things to say.
Absolutely. All right. Biohazard.
Biohazard would be Elkmania 2, so 2014
Wow.
was when I wrestled him.
10 years ago.
Yep.
How'd that go?
Ended up in a double count out brawl on the floor, which led into a Royal Rumble type match, and me coming out victorious.
All right,
So,
hey!
So we fought to the floor and then interjected ourselves into the Battle Royal
right.
match, and then somehow I won.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know how that happened, but it did.
That's awesome. All right, because it says here, what I have written down, what a Battle Royal that had Carmelo Hayes in it.
Yes, that's
And
right.
he didn't even win, you won.
That's right. Yep. Carmelo Hayes was there.
Is that amazing, though? Like
awesome.
to see him like sharing a locker room with them. To a couple years later, watching him on SmackDown or on NXT.
And he's doing fantastic right
Unbelievable.
now.
In like his first 2 matches against Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. And he looked good in both of them.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Exactly. And he looked good in both matches.
I believe it.
It's amazing. All right, Burke Beckett.
I wrestled him a couple times in Proving Ground in 2016 before I left. I can't remember if I won or lost, but
Okay. Well, you already talked about Adam Nessel, so we'll pass on Adam.
hey, don't pass on Adam.
No, then let's go. Talk about him. Sounds good. Adam's a great guy.
Adam's a great guy. He's another guy that's fully believed and invested his time in me.
Nice.
We had a great match at Elkmania 3, and he still asks me to this day if that's still one of my favorite matches. He's like, am I still top 5? I was like, yes, Adam, you're still top 5.
Nice, nice. All right. Michael McManus.
McManus, I wrestled once in Proving Ground. I know there's a little bit of a tension thing. We left our ego at the door and did business. We're fine now, though. I actually just talked to him at the WAW show we did back in May, and I told him we should mix it up again, and he said, sounds good anytime.
Nice.
So,
okay.
Yep, we're good now.
How about one of the owners of NRG, Davey Cash? Half of the Hoods.
Such a great group of guys to watch. Really, they're really invested in everything that they do.
Right.
They're so on point with every emotion, and everything in the story makes sense. And it's a pleasure to watch, really.
That's awesome. Now,
Very professional guys.
Davey's got a tag team partner that's not Chris. It's his son or his little brother?
It's, I believe, his son.
Okay, wow. That's amazing, man. To get the team with your father, you know what I mean? A father or son, that's got to be like a highlight for Davey.
Like the
honestly.
Mysterios, or
Yeah.
it's similar to that.
That's amazing.
That's
All
what I
right,
feel good.
how about Dick Lane?
Oh, I love Dick Lane. Oh,
It's the only time I'm allowed to say I love Dick.
otherwise, very inappropriate.
Right.
I've wrestled him a handful of times, and the most notable, actually, I can't say a handful of times, twice.
Okay.
But the most notable one is Elkmania 10 last year. We had a barn burner, at least in my opinion, and I really enjoyed that match.
Nice.
Dick Lane's a great guy, and I can't wait to see what he does in the near future.
Yeah. No, and you know what really surprised me when I had him on the show? He really talks like that.
Yes, he does.
Like, I thought that was like a
except for
wrestling thing.
when he's drunk, apparently he talks normal. apparently,
sense.
that's the scoop.
Wow, that would be, yeah, I hear you. All right, how about Sean Leader?
Sean Leader's a guy that he was coming in as I was leaving.
Okay.
So I got to watch a couple of his matches, and he was always adamant. He's like, me and you gotta get in there. We gotta get in there. So when I came back and I started training again, I reached out to him and was like, hey man, you gonna be around for this? You're gonna be able to get in there and mix it up, grapple with me a little bit and, work with me a little bit. And he's just one of those guys that's evaded me, and I haven't been able to get in there with him. I'd love
Nice.
to.
Yeah.
At some point in the near future when it makes sense.
He's a really good worker. Him and Dick are both good workers. You know?
Awesome.
And it took me a little bit, honestly, to like the Dick and like all the
superhero.
Yeah.
kind of-
It took a little bit, but then I'm like, if I can, like, for instance, Flax, if I see a wrestling goat in the ring, he's a goat.
All
That
bets are
whole
off.
time he's wrestling.
All bets are off. I mean,
Yeah.
I love wrestling just for the fact that you can pour pure imagination
Yep.
into every little thing that you do. If you want to go in there and be yourself,
Yep.
and the people eat it up, That's awesome. If you want to go out there and throw the most outrageous, outlandish outfits together and make fun of yourself while you're doing it,
Right.
but have a blast, and it gets a reaction from the crowd, a great example is Tony Spencer.
Yes.
Great
yes.
example is Tony Spencer.
That is a great example.
Also, excellent guy.
yes, he is.
As much as he's been a pain in my ass in the past year, love Tony.
Well, I don't know if you ever watched the first episode that I had him on, at the end, he hit me with his shoe. He hit me with the shoe. I don't think he really meant to hit me as hard as he did, but he hit me pretty hard with that shoe. He really did.
I hear a receipt coming.
Yeah, exactly. We got to get Tony back on. Like you said, though, he is a really good guy.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, tough talk, Tony Spencer. How about let's go to a big guy, Kevin Giles.
I got to mix it up with him one time.
He's huge, man.
Oh, yeah. Really, really nice guy, though.
Yeah.
Really nice guy. Don't want to be on his bad side.
Yeah, well, I definitely. I don't want to be on anybody's bad side that's that big.
It's hard enough being on his good side.
Right? That's cool.
But yeah, I got to mix it up with him one time.
All right. How about C.J. Price?
CJ Price, one time.
Yeah?
One time, and it was when Proving Ground first opened its doors. I want to say it was between April and June of 2016.
Okay.
And then he stepped away, as people do.
Right. Well, we're going to stick with the same last name. How about Alec Price?
That's a guy that is making waves in the indie circuit.
Big time.
Oh, huge. And he got to wrestle with us, and just to have him on the roster was awesome. He was very, very pleasant, very professional, polite.
Yeah.
And his in-ring work is phenomenal. Like, he's just...
I went to the House of Glory show last week, and not this past week, but the weekend before, and he wrestled Mustafa Ali. And I'm telling you right now, that match was unbelievable.
I fully believe it.
And Mustafa was kind of like razzing him, like, this is the best you got in New England? And then as the match just kept getting better and better, and Mustafa Ali won in the end, but he knew he was in the ring with the best the area has to offer in Alec Price. It was incredible.
Did he take him to his limit?
Oh, yeah, he did.
good.
It was an over 20-minute match.
Oh, damn.
It was,
Okay.
and like I said, it was really good. We all know how good Mustafa Ali is.
Oh, yeah.
Alec didn't miss a
Outrageous.
beat, man. Move for move. It was really good. And you really don't like where Alec is now in his career. He's really only going to get better by wrestling these better people.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, elevate, have
Yeah.
people, pull you up.
Yeah,
That's
and
what it's
I'll tell you,
about.
they're coming back again too. House
Really?
of Glory. Yeah, they're coming
Awesome.
back. I think in August. I think they said or July. But it was a good show, I mean, especially for a company coming from New York, coming here. There was about 100 and something people there, which is not bad for
Not bad.
running for the first time, 200 miles from
Yeah,
your
from
home area.
Right.
So, all right. How about Jason Devine?
I got to wrestle him once during the COVID tapings.
Okay.
And yeah, very, very professional guy. Very, very funny.
Yeah?
A very, very funny guy.
Really?
Yeah. I really like Jason Devine. Really cool
Where did
cat.
you guys do the COVID shows?
In the
In Beverly?
the WAW arena.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. In
They
Manchester?
had Gloucester, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool.
They had a nice little place.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like a storage locker that was big
Okay.
enough to fit a ring in.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had cameras
Awesome.
in there, and we had our shows.
Speaking of Gloucester, Chad Epic.
Good old Chad Epic.
Love Chad.
Love Chad. Love to hate him too.
Yeah.
As I'm sure that's the general consensus of Chad Epic.
He makes a hell of a hot sauce.
Oh, he does. I have some in my cabinet.
Yeah. My son makes it too. I mean, it's unreal. His is so friggin' hot. All right. How about Alessandro Russo?
Oh.
He's already asked a question, but now his working name.
I got to wrestle him at the last WAW taping, which I believe was, when was that? A couple years ago.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that match.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy, very, very polite, very
Yep.
professional, and I got nothing but good things to say about Russo.
Nice. All right. How about Delilah Hayden?
Oh, Delilah Hayden. She is fantastic.
Yeah, she is.
I have her as part of my stable in The Void.
Oh, nice.
Wearing the shirt right now.
Yep. Enter the void.
She's just somebody that has so much to offer. She's so creative.
Yep.
And it's going to be really delightful to help her kind of elevate to the next step in her
Nice.
wrestling career.
She can work.
Oh, she can.
She can
Hardest
work.
hitter.
No doubt. All right, you brought him up earlier. Draven Filth.
Draven Filth. What a clown. Decent worker.
Yeah.
But what a clown. Yeah, I got to wrestle him a couple times, once in WAW, and then in his run in his mouth. So I had to wrestle him last month.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had a really good match. Really
Awesome.
like one of the best matches I've had of the year. So
That's awesome. Okay. How about the guy that you took on a couple weeks ago? Mike Montero. Who's
ace.
incredible.
Incredible. And yeah, that was like I said, Frankie got hurt. I was supposed to wrestle
Right.
Frank Bones that night. But you know, Mike Montero stepped up to the plate and said yes to working with me. He didn't have to.
Right.
But I feel like that match truly redefined my career and has, you know, is starting to take me in a different direction. I really love that match, and I really love Mike Montero. I think he's every bit as good as everybody says he is.
He is. He's absolutely one of the best workers in New England right now.
Hands down.
And I said it. And I mean it. Tom Billington. Another good worker.
I love Tom Billington. I've become really close to him.
Yeah?
As of the past few months, and I really like to mix it up with him someday and get in there with him.
Right.
I think that's going to be in the plans at some
Yeah.
point. At least I really hope so.
Nice. He's a member of the Dick Busters.
Yes, he is.
Yes. All right. We already brought up Chad Epic. How about, do you know the politician?
I got to be in a rumble with him.
Really?
Yep. We had a neat little spot in there, and great guy,
Yeah.
very friendly, and he helped us with the ring. So thank you for that.
He's actually been going around a lot of different companies helping out with the ring because he knows that's, a
That's
lot
how you
of
get
times
yourself
that's
in.
how you get yourself in. Matter of fact, we'll talk real quick. Alec Price. I was going to the Beyond shows in Worcester, and I was only going like one a month. And every time we'd go, we'd see Alec there. He's like, yeah, I came, set the ring up. So finally we get to the show, and no Alec. The first match is always the spotlight match where they want everybody to go live on a social media platform and go live for the match. And it was unbelievable. Alec wrestled in that match against CJ Cruz.
Oh, awesome.
And they both were, like I said, they both had been there setting up and all that. Took them a couple months, but man, they got in there. Now, Alec wrestled that night. He was the most hated person there. Not because they didn't like him, they just didn't like him. I went back 3 or 4 weeks later, the most over guy in the whole company.
Flip that
It's
switch.
amazing to see like how someone could go from that to that in no time.
As long as you're getting that a reaction, whether it's
Yeah.
hate or whether it's love,
Yeah.
you're doing something right.
Yeah. And it's got to be, for someone like you, a New England independent wrestler, it has to be rewarding to see guys like Carmelo, Ivar, guys,
Anthony
Kofi,
Green.
Anthony Green, all these guys that from here that are getting their shot, not all in WWE. I mean, AG started in, he got started by the WWE. They let him go. Now he's in Japan.
Yes.
And he's killing it. And it's so, like I said, it must be rewarding and it's a word I'm looking for. I don't know.
You feel some sense of pride.
Yes, thank you.
For the area.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, it's
100%.
got to be rewarding. It's got to be, where you feel like that could be you someday.
Yeah, it gives you hope.
Yes.
Gives you
Thank
hope.
you. Yep. Absolutely. All right, how about Mighty Bosch?
Mighty Bosch?
Yeah.
Well, we've already covered that he's a great guy.
Yep.
Love Peter. He's always such a pleasure to be around. He's always so happy to see you.
Yep.
And yeah, hope we do get round 3.
Absolutely. All
I
right.
look forward to it, as a matter of fact.
How about AJP?
AJP is one of those guys who's, his father, T. Phoenix, he grew up in the business. He grew up probably more than likely being trained by T. And he's just doing fantastic things. He's doing phenomenal things. And, you know, when I wrestled in Mass Anarchy Wrestling in Rhode Island, AJP was actually in the crowd for those shows because T Phoenix would wrestle on the shows.
Right.
So he would watch my matches when I wrestled there, and he said something that really stuck with me, and it was just an appreciation comment. It was probably nothing more than just him being, you know, saying something nice. But he said that you know, I was one of the best wrestlers that he had to watch, that he got to watch on that roster, and that means a lot.
Yeah, and he's killing it too.
Oh, he's absolutely
he
killing it.
is
DLC
so
champion.
good.
Oh my
So
God.
young and so good. You know? So-
But would you have any doubt having T Phoenix as your
oh, no,
father?
no doubt. Absolutely. The kid
doubt.
pretty much was born in the ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This
He
is
was
very true.
a toddler in the ring.
Very true.
So, all right, how about Mike Grassa?
Mike Grassa is one of those guys who's got one of the most incredible characters, and I hope that someday he and I get in there together because I think we could do some magic. Hey, even if we were involved in like a one time only tag team match or
Right,
something,
right.
something like that, I think
Yeah.
we could do some cool stuff.
He his appearance coming to the ring is friggin' awesome.
It is awesome.
It is friggin' awesome.
Truly awesome.
I thought about trying to do like a Halloween special and have him, like people like him with the masks and stuff like that. Would be pretty cool.
It would be.
But
agree.
I think he's come a long way since the first time I've watched him wrestle, which was probably 5-6 years ago. He's unbelievable now.
Yeah, he is. Really nice guy too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. How about you brought him up earlier, Stephen Lust?
Oh, Lusty. Lusty's just, like I said, I feel like he's just a legend in these areas.
Right.
He's really got a lot of steam behind him. He's got everything. He's got the look. He's got the catchphrase. He's got the persona. His work is incredible.
And like he's been killing it for a
He's
couple of years.
absolutely like phenomenal in everything that he does.
Yeah.
And I know that he probably doesn't think that way.
Right.
But he is. Like
Yeah.
from somebody looking through the glass.
Yeah.
He's
He's done so well since
so
the
well.
tag team broke up. You know what I mean? Since they went their separate ways. Now his partner is Stephen
Broad.
Stephen
Yeah.
Broad. I haven't seen him wrestle in a while. Has he like completely stepped away or?
Well, he did suffer a concussion at one of the Proving Ground shows.
Okay.
And you know, we kind of told him you should
Yeah.
take some time off and kind of nurse
definitely.
that. So I think he did. And
Very talented kid too.
super talented.
Small guy, but very, very talented.
But Lusty's just one of those once in a lifetime wrestlers that's just the total package.
Right.
And he truly is a pleasure to watch. He's another one of those guys that said that the day I met him, he's like, "Oh, we got to get in there. We got to get in there together and
Right.
create some magic." Hasn't happened yet,
Wow.
but I'm hoping that it will.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just going to throw out some names. Damon Farah,
Oh, love Damon.
one of the greatest wrestling fans ever.
Oh, he's the best kind of
He
wrestling fan.
is. He
the
spends
best.
money on all the wrestlers. He does.
Every time I see him, he's always wearing a wrestling shirt. And it's funny. I met him at my job.
Really?
So I do pest control.
Okay.
And I was servicing the property that he works for.
Yeah.
And I realized he was wearing a Brandon Webb shirt as he was working. And I pointed out, I was like, "Hey, I like your shirt. Brandon Webb shirt." He's like, "Oh, you know him?" I was like, "Actually, I used to be a wrestler. This is before I came back."
Okay.
And it's just great that we got to take a picture together that day. He's like, "Take a picture of us and show everybody and tell them I said hi." It's just that kind of guy he is. But yeah,
Damon is an awesome guy.
every show he's there.
Yeah.
He loves wrestling, and
he does.
I guess he had a couple of his clients he bring to the shows too because
Yep.
they love it too.
Oh, they love it.
There's nothing better than that.
Yeah, he used to take them to Liberty States, I think, all the time in Peabody because of that. Just the way to get in the building was real easy and all that. And he used to go to all the Todd Sopel shows.
Yes.
You know? But yeah, Damon is just, in my opinion, the best wrestling fan out there.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
He'll buy everybody's shirt. He'll always ask, "Hey, 4X?"
He's waiting for this one to come in.
Yeah, well, you better get him one.
I'll place the order for before June 29th, and we'll get it to you, Damon. Don't worry.
Nice.
Don't worry.
He is incredible. I mean, that's a matter of fact. He said also, when's your next T-shirt coming out? 4X, please. Yep.
You're on the list, Damon.
All right. So, like I said earlier, he said amazing match last week versus Mike Montero. Have you ever thought about expanding out to more promotions? I'd love to see you at Lucky Pro, NCW, Pro Wrestling Super Show, even Chaotic.
So last month I really expanded a little bit more.
Okay.
Up until then, I was strictly a Proving Ground guy. I think it's more so being exclusive.
Right.
So if you want to see me wrestle, you have to come to this territory.
Yep.
But also, I'm kind of one of those people that struggles with acceptance.
Okay.
I sometimes don't feel like I belong, and it's a real problem. But it stems from those two guys that were really giving me a hard time in the business,
Right.
because they never made me feel like I belonged there.
Yep.
So that's just carried with me, and I'm just really I'm trying to work on establishing myself as a
Right.
decent wrestler in Proving Ground before I move on to other things.
Right.
But I wrestled at NCW last month.
Okay.
On the 4th.
Yep.
And then the 18th, I wrestled for WAW in Newton.
Yep.
And then Proving Ground again on the 25th. I would love to expand more. I want to feel more confident.
Right.
And I'm sure a lot of the guys are going to tell me that, like, oh, you're accepted. We love you. You're a good dude.
Right.
But it's a mental thing, man.
Okay.
It's just one of those things you got to get through.
Excellent. It's a great question, though, Damon. And then, obviously, like I said, he asked about your 4X shirt.
It's coming.
Let's talk a little bit of offer wrestling.
Okay.
What's your favorite rock band?
So my all-time favorite band is Korn.
Okay.
That's my all-time
Yeah.
top favorite band. Do you want to know a couple more?
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
I'd love to hear them.
Trivium is another one, which is why I chose them to be my theme song
Right.
for when I started doing Elkmania shows. And I'm really into this band called Lorna Shore right
Okay.
now, out of New Jersey.
Yep.
Fantastic. So
Yeah.
fast, but so good.
Very cool. What about what was the best concert you ever been to?
Born of Osiris.
Really?
There's a band called Born of Osiris. I went to go see them in 22 up at, what's that place up in Maine? Not Hampton Beach, but it was like a place up in Maine. Phenomenal show. They were just they just vibed with us so well.
Right, right.
And they made everybody feel like they were included in the set, and it was fantastic. It was awesome.
You ever been to a show that you wish you never went to?
Not really. I mean, if I'm buying a ticket, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be buying a ticket to a band that I want to see, or a show I want to see. I try to steer clear of things that I'm I'm unknown, like I don't know about.
Right, right.
I mean,
Well,
they could surprise me. I don't know, but
I asked that question only because I actually did go to a show that I wish I
tell.
didn't go. I went to see Rat Karaoke. You know the band Rat?
I've heard of them.
Yeah, the only person from the original band was the drummer. Hence, I call it karaoke because all three different guys were singing songs except for him. Then he came out from behind the drum set and started talking to the crowd, and the crowd turned on him.
Oh wow.
Go back and play the drums. Nobody wants to hear you talk.
Oh,
I felt
wow.
bad for the guy. But honestly, I will say, I kind of wish I still had my $40 and didn't go to that show.
Well, now you have a story to tell. That's
Yeah.
$40 for a story.
Yeah. All right. What about TV shows? You watch TV? Do you
I
watch
really
it?
don't watch TV.
No? Okay.
I don't have cable.
Right.
Just too expensive.
What about movies? You like the movies?
I'm a big movie guy.
Okay. What's your favorite movie franchise?
Oh, geez. Star Wars, I guess.
Yeah,
Star
most
Wars
people
is
say
a
Star Wars, or they'll say
solid
like
one.
Fast and Furious, because they got like 12 friggin' movies.
I mean, I grew up in the 90s watching all the original
Right,
Star Wars
right.
before they started adding all the effects to it
Yeah.
and everything. So that was just something that I watched over and over and over again. But Jurassic Park and the Godzilla movies,
Yep.
all fantastic stuff.
Awesome. What about other sports besides wrestling? Are you into like MMA? Do you like boxing?
Nope.
Football?
Wrestling's the only thing that I
Really?
keep up with. I don't do football or hockey or
No
basketball.
kidding.
Nothing.
Don't say you don't do hockey, because that's my favorite sport.
Well, that could be your
That's
favorite
like
sport.
a bad word in this.
That could be your favorite sport.
It is my
Just
favorite
like when I tell
sport.
people that I don't like chocolate, they're like, "What?"
What?
And they're like, "But I'm like, it's more for you.
But wait a minute.
It's more for you."
I've never heard anyone that doesn't like chocolate.
Oh, I break out bad with chocolate.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
It's easier for me to tell people I'm allergic.
Right. So
Say I
you
don't like
do
it.
like candy, though. It's not chocolate.
I mean, very sparingly. I'll eat
Nerds
candy.
or anything, a little.
Sparingly.
Yeah.
If it don't hurt my teeth, because it does.
Yeah.
I'm getting up there.
Yeah, I hear you. I have a stepdaughter, Nicole. She's special needs, and she's just turned 38 on the 29th of May, and she's never had one cavity. Never. Wow. Not one.
That's fantastic.
No,
candy?
It's unbelievable.
No candy?
No, she eats candy too, but
How?
She brushes her teeth.
Tell me your secrets.
She brushes her teeth twice a day. When she gets up and before she goes to bed.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it really
Good
is.
for her.
Yeah.
That's hard to.
She's one of my favorite people, and she's the only one in my family that will watch the show. And then everybody always says she doesn't know any better, but I always say she loves me so much. That's why she watches
Exactly.
the show. It's not because she doesn't know any better.
Yeah, you know the truth.
I still can't believe you don't eat chocolate.
I don't.
So you break out, huh?
I break out. Yeah. Yep.
I'd never even heard of that, honestly. And I'm sure, like my daughter,
I think
Sarah.
it's cocoa.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's the cocoa that they put in it.
Yeah, because my youngest can't eat apples. Only if they're cooked, like an apple pie she can eat.
It might be the skin.
Yeah.
Because I think my youngest is the same way.
Yeah, she breaks out like unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
Skin can do that to you.
yes, it can. All right. So I'm still blown away that you don't watch sports either, though.
I've never cared.
Yeah.
That's not true. I used to like football.
Yeah?
I used to like football. Back when I was, 10 or whatever. Very short time. I think I got to meet some of the Patriots one time. They were doing like this thing with the Salvation Army,
Yeah.
or something like that in the 90s. But yeah, I don't follow anything today.
Wow. So when you were a football fan, the Patriots were great,
Yeah.
right? Because they had Tom Brady, obviously.
No,
When I was
this
little-
was before Tom Brady.
Oh,
this
what? It was before
This was
Brady.
Drew Bledsoe.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was a big thing for me to meet Drew Bledsoe. That was a
Drew
big-
Bledsoe was a great quarterback. He really was. Unfortunately, he got hit and got hurt, and Brady came in and he lost his job. I mean, but Bledsoe was a good quarterback.
Yep. So that's that's the era that I was
Oh, yeah.
interested in it.
And you just all of a sudden just
Yeah,
didn't really care about
my
it
mother.
much.
You know what? I think my mother dated some guy that was really into football.
Yeah.
So we'd watch the football games
Right.
at my place when he came over.
Yeah.
And then once they separated, it was like, it's done.
Right.
Done deal. Get out of here. No
Football
more.
reminded you of that jerk,
Yeah.
right?
Get out of here.
That's awesome. That's funny. All right, so let's talk more about Proving Ground Wrestling.
Okay. What do you
Where
want?
where do you see yourself and Proving Ground Wrestling in 5 years or even 3 years?
If we're going to do a 5-year plan, I see us expanding. I think my goal is to get us a few other venues in
Okay.
the area.
Yep.
I think we do really great with local shows because people in our area don't really get
Right.
wrestling all the time.
Yep.
I mean, I know when Todd Soper was running and
Right.
then Big Time was running, you get like this very sparse wrestling fan base.
Yep.
But I think having, a monthly show in that area is fantastic. And Todd always says the biggest problem is nobody knows that we have wrestling that's local
Right.
in the area. So
Yeah.
we really try to put out flyers and pamphlets and advertise as much as
Yep.
we can. But I would really like to get a place in Salem. I think wrestling in Salem would be awesome
Oh
for
yeah,
me.
absolutely.
I know we had this deal that fell through. We were going to wrestle in like the cobble. I don't know if you're familiar with Salem,
No, not really, but
that's my hometown,
Yeah.
and it's always been something, and Todd as well, to wrestle in our hometown,
Right.
Because we never have.
Right.
I think he actually might have wrestled No, it might have been. Was it Beverly? I think he wrestled his debut was at Beverly High School.
Where's the black box?
Black Box is Peabody on Foster
Peabody,
Street.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've never been in that. I've only been
You
to
would
a
love
PG at Beverly at the Elks.
You would
I mean,
love
at
that
the
place.
what, the VFW?
No, it's the Elks.
It's the Elks.
It's the
Okay.
Elk Club. Yep.
But yeah, so I definitely want to hit a show there. I heard it's a great building for
Oh, it's
wrestling.
awesome. I think Alec Price said, this is wrestling's best kept secret
Really?
because it was such a, with all the lighting and
Yeah.
it's a great atmosphere.
Now, what does Todd work there?
Todd works there now. Yeah, he's the manager of the events that
nice.
take place there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to hit one of these shows over there. I haven't heard nothing, like I said, heard nothing, but I didn't hear Alex said that. That's pretty cool.
So we're going to, I think we're going to end up wrestling more there.
Yeah.
Because he has the ins.
Yeah.
Makes
That's
sense.
good, man. Maybe you
Makes sense.
maybe you can get a good a break on the building
I
too.
think he might.
Because my cousin used to work at the American Legion in Lowell, and if we wanted a family party, she got the hall for free.
That's awesome.
So my cousin had gotten cancer.
Isn't it nice?
It's incredible,
when
man.
you have
Yeah.
the ins like that.
Yeah,
It's good.
My cousin got pancreatic cancer, and we were able to raise him $10,000. We handed him almost $10,000 cash.
That's
that
fantastic.
night, man. It was an
That's
incredible night,
huge.
man. Yeah, he passed away a little after. You know what I mean, Tommy? I love you, but it was something that, as soon as I heard he had it, I knew I wanted to do something. My brother had cancer, years before that, but it was too close. I didn't think about throwing him a party, you know what I mean? But it was my cousin. I immediately thought of that. And it was just one of the best things I think I've ever done in my life is to do something for somebody else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And I did something very similar to that.
Yeah.
I grew up very poor.
Yeah.
So I went to a private school and they paid for me to go there.
Nice.
Last year, the owner of that private school just collapsed and hit his head on the concrete, right before Christmas. And I guess he was in the hospital for 3 months or whatever. So I talked to Todd and I said, hey, could we have a charity show for these guys? Raise them a little bit of money,
Right.
help out. So we did that last April.
That's awesome.
So we raised
man.
them some money and they were just very thankful that that we were able to do that for them.
That's amazing. And my niece had gotten a DJ for half price. We did a raffle, and everybody brought baskets and things, and there was cornhole things. It was amazing. I couldn't believe what we did for my cousin that day. You know what I mean? It was an amazing. My girlfriend got mad at me because I got drunk, and she went over to me and she said, "Are you gonna work?" I told her, I am working. I'm working the roof.
Having fun.
She didn't laugh like you laughed. She just gave me a look like,
I'm sure she laughs now.
yeah, I'm sure she does. Yeah, she makes fun of me.
But as far as where I see myself, I see this character that I've developed just expanding.
Yep.
And I want to keep on elevating. I want to keep moving forward, keep moving up, wrestle guys that are better that I can learn from.
Right.
And stay the course. Always climb that ladder.
Right. Who else is in the void? I know you and Delilah. Who
Me
else?
and Delilah and Lazarus.
Lazarus. Okay, you're heavy.
My heavy. He's been the absolute epitome of what's gotten this gimmick over.
Right.
He's just the guy that everybody just loves, and they can't wait to see him get in there. He had the match with Osiris
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, and it ended up in a no contest. So they were just
Why? Because he ran?
because he ran.
Because he ran.
So they were just so happy to see Lazarus get his hands on Osiris.
Right.
And then they didn't get the outcome that they wanted,
So they can't wait
which is
again
frustrating.
until Lazarus
Right.
gets him.
So hopefully Lazarus will be able to get his hands on Osiris again
Yeah.
and make it count,
Stop running, Osiris. Man up.
He's 6'6". I mean,
Well, all right. So I apologize, Osiris. I apologize very much.
6'6", 285, something like
Yeah,
that.
I spoke too soon. If I were you, I probably would have ran too.
I would run too. Luckily, he's on my side.
Osiris, though, honestly, a guy that I've known for a long time. He's pull the curtain back a little. Great guy.
Pain in my ass.
Pain in the butt, but a good guy.
Pain in my ass as of recently, but
And we were talking about Doc Ozone is just the best. And now that's his uncle or something like that, right?
Is it his uncle or is it Calvin's?
Now I'm confused. I really don't know. I know. I'm pretty
somebody's-
sure.
somebody's uncle.
No, I'm pretty sure. It's not Calvin. It's not Calvin. It's
Osiris.
yeah, Osiris and Doc Ozone are like uncle and nephew,
Well,
something
I
like
gotta-
that.
I gotta figure that out.
Yeah, we got to find that
I gotta
out.
figure that out.
But both those guys, like you said, he's a pain in your butt, but Doc is the best.
Yeah.
And like I said,
Very-
I ain't afraid to admit it, man. He gives the best hugs. He does. I love Doc. As you can't tell, I do. I love the guy.
Yeah, he's like everybody's uncle. He's like that super cool, super chill uncle.
I
That
met him like 20 years ago and then didn't see him for like 10. You know?
he when I talked to him at the last show, he was talking about how it's such a pleasure to see like how far I've come.
Yep.
Since he first saw me
Right.
wrestling. And
And he means that too. He
oh,
doesn't just say
no,
that.
No,
he means
it.
Yeah,
just,
he does.
Just like Damon giving me the compliment that
exactly.
he's saying off
yeah.
air.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it's always good to see him, man.
Right.
Always good to see him.
And you know, you work hard. You know, you get in the ring, you wrestle hard. You work hard, and I see big things for you. I really do.
I really hope
do.
so. As far as my future, I hope there's some gold in my future.
I could see you as the Proven Ground champion. I really could. I actually saw clips of the match against Montero on Facebook today. That clothesline you hit him with, very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. But again, Mike Montero's going to be here at the end of the month.
Oh, he is too?
Yeah, I'm so excited to have him on because Todd was the one. You got to get Montero on
yeah.
the show. You got,
I'm surprised you haven't had him on yet.
I know.
I made it on before Montero.
Yes!
What's going on here?
And I can't wait to have him on because honestly, that kid is killing it.
Oh, he absolutely
There's
is.
so many guys in New England right now that are killing. Like you said, Alec Price. You know,
Stephen Lust.
Stephen
Nick
Lust.
Lane.
Yeah.
Mike Montero.
They're all killing it, man. And right now is a great time to be a wrestling fan in New
Oh,
England.
it's huge
it
right
really
now.
is. There's so many companies, so many wrestlers. It's amazing.
And the cool thing about this area is that no matter which promotion you go to, you'll see the same group of guys, so you
Right.
can really follow them.
Yeah, absolutely. But Joey, thank you for coming on, man. We'll
Thank
do
you,
this
Leo.
again. This was
I
a
would
great
love to.
time.
I would
All
love to.
We'll talk. You watch wrestling on TV at
not
all?
really.
No? Okay.
I don't really get to because I don't have.
Right. Yeah, you
Cable.
don't have cable. There you go. All right, Joey, thanks again, buddy.
Thank you, Leo.
We're out. Peace. Hi, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show. Listen, I could use a little help to grow my YouTube channel. So if you could please like, share, and subscribe. That's most importantly, subscribe. Send me a direct message, and I'll give you a shout out here on the show. My YouTube channel is real simple. It's just my name, Leo Connors. Thanks in advance. Peace.